I don't think they fully appreciate, maybe we don't, the challenges of beating a team like that in a 7-game. Anybody can win a game, which was part of it, right? You get it to one game. Can we get it to one game? But 7 games and come out ahead, it'll sink in over time. I truly think, actually, you won't think much about it. Start on Toronto video tomorrow, we get to work, and then some years go by and you look back at it and say that was pretty special.
And just like you said, road's just beginning, still a lot of big games ahead, but you talked about playoff hockey and trying to get to a style all season long.
Right.
When you look at this series and you look at tonight's game, is that what you kind of envisioned?
I mean, I don't think you can find a harder team to play against than the Boston Bruins. They're just that good. There isn't a weakness in their game. So they will test you in all parts, right? Their power play is just so dynamic. So it's a proving ground that you get to keep, certainly for our next game, which is most important. But you get to keep that for a while. The players here now have a shared experience of what hard is. And we'll cut that video and we'll keep that video and we'll use it at training camp, and it'll make us better for 5 years. That's how hard it was.
Given what your team had to endure in terms of adversity, overcoming that, and then doing what you just did against the Boston Bruins, where does this win rank for you personally?
I don't know if I'm going to articulate this right. It doesn't rank for me personally. There's a feeling, a sense of, at some point the players took over the bench. This year, I've mentioned it. You've heard me say that. I was proud to be associated with them, if that makes sense. That was my sense. I'm watching these guys fight and scratch and claw, and I'm not hanging over the bench screaming at them or telling them what to do. Everybody's got a job here. Basically, at the end of the day, I open the door and close the door on the lines, right? Who's going? Other than that, it's proud to be associated with them.
What was your confidence level late in the third when Brandon Montour tied things up, and then in overtime as well?
I'm trying to decide how much truth you get from this game. Like we're down a goal with under 2 minutes left to go against Boston. Like I'm not all in. I wouldn't bet everything because the math doesn't add up. Except when that puck goes in, you go, oh, we're going to win this game. So then it wavers again, right? If you get a breakaway, we get 3 incredible chances in overtime, and now you're going, well, because right, you have the Marchand breakaway at the end of that game in your head. Okay, they didn't get that one. All those evil things that happens in a coach's brain when a puck doesn't go in the net. But fully appreciate the way that goal went in. Matthew Tkachuk, right? He hangs onto that puck like nobody else can. Bennett comes in heavy. Chucky goes to the net, screen, bar down. All 3 kind of components of great players.
Matthew said when you guys called the timeout, like you didn't even really have to say much. Everyone kind of knew the plan. Does that did you kind of come out of that with? I mean, obviously, like you said, the odds still aren't great, but kind of more confidence.
Well, no. Like by the time you get to this stage in the season, the only question would be almost injuries of who's going, what their job is, how this all works. Took us a little while to get Bob's attention to get him out of the net. I'm not going to lie about that. But, it's dialed in at that point. They know they're set either side on face-offs, what happens on the puck that rolls high, all of that. Hell of a shot by Monty.
Yeah, he's obviously had an incredible year, but it seems like obviously Carter's the guy who gets the biggest moments, it seems like, but Brandon seems like he's had a ton of those this year. Just
yeah, he really has.
Is his confidence kind of blossomed? He seems to just, I don't know what it is.
It's more than confidence, it's experience too. Like it's not just, hey, I'm feeling good tonight, I'm going to be a great player. He's built a game now that I think he understands. So he has some really high-end talent. There's a skill, like he skates like nobody else. But he's a gamer too. Like he's driving, he's up and down the bench barking. Right, like he wants to go. He wants to win, and he's got a lot of compete in him, and he's competitive. But now I think he's got a pretty focused game. The advantage of us having Sylvain Lefebvre, a guy who's won a Stanley Cup, who's played defense, understands the things about playing defense that I never will. He can relate to those guys kind of and bring that out.
Coach, a guy we might file under unsung heroes, Sam Reinhart, a big goaltender. I think he's had goals in 4 of the last 5, a ton of hits. Just have you kind of seen him blossom as well in this series?
It would be true of absolutely what you just said all year as well. If I'm going to go ask somebody a question about what's going on with their team, I'm asking him. I don't know what he wants to do when his career's over, hopefully a long time. He's either going to be, if he wants to stay in hockey, he's either a head coach but he's smarter than that, so he'd be a GM. He has an incredible read of the game, and you see it. So you think about a guy that doesn't get around the ice maybe as fast, and this game just keeps getting faster, but he was incredibly effective. And there's some grit there. It reminds me a little bit of Ray Whitney. Like he's got a little bit of that. He's got some bite. But he's very, very bright. He is always impressed me. When I go and ask a question, the answer he comes up with, he's a guy to listen to. Okay, thank you.